This is the informative speech for Paul Rodriguez for speech 1316. These are my 3 audience members, plus an extra. These are my 2 note cards. And this is my visual aid. Could you imagine hurling a 250-pound man forcefully through the air and onto the ground without looking like you walked out of a Marvel movie or you compete in the world's strongest man? Sports are entertaining, and many of us have or do practice them regularly. In bars and restaurants across the nation, combat sports are televised and action movies sell out theaters. One of the most dynamic sports there is known as Judo. It's one of the most widely practiced martial arts. Knowing a little bit more about this martial art can help you see this entertainment in a new light. A little bit about why I picked the topic today. I am currently a brown belt in Judo under a former Olympic coach and practice alongside world-ranked athletes multiple times a week. So today what we're going to look at with Judo is the origins, the growth of the sport over the years, and the influence it's had on Western culture. Judo traces its roots to the samurai art of jiu-jitsu, according to an article by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Japan called History of Judo in 2022. In 1882, a man by the name of Jigoro Kano had studied this martial art and refined it to exclude techniques that he found to be too dangerous for live practice. According to an article by Evolve MMA known as History Origins of BJJ, it was Jigoro Kano's introduction of randori that revolutionized this martial art and helped its effectiveness. This randori is more commonly known in other sports as sparring. This was revolutionary at the time. Now that we've looked a little bit about the origins of Judo, let's talk about its growth that it's experienced over the years. Judo first entered the Olympics in 1964 in Tokyo, and it's been steady in the Olympics since 1972. According to the International Olympic Committee, in an article entitled History of Judo in 2022, there has been a women's division also included in Judo since 1992, first in Barcelona Games in Spain. And now there are 7 weight divisions that men and women compete in the Olympics. According to an article by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Japan titled The History of Judo 2022, there are now 204 countries that compete in the International Judo Federation. There's actually more French players than there are Japanese. Now that we've looked at the growth that Judo has experienced over the years, let's talk about the influence it's had on Western culture. A recent box office success that has sparked the trilogy is a film known as John Wick. In John Wick, the action star Keanu Reeves can be seen throwing and choking his adversaries throughout the entire movie. One of the main martial arts used in this movie is actually Judo, and Keanu Reeves spent several months studying Judo, and that performance, according to an article by Mark Pickering in 2022, earned him a honorary black belt presented to him by Namahiro Tadahiro. Another way that Judo has influenced Western culture is the growth of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ. Despite popular belief, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does not originate directly from Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and instead originates from Judo. According to an article by Evolve MMA entitled The History and Origins of BJJ 2022, it was a judoka by the name of Mitsuya Maeda that came in the early 1900s to Brazil to teach Judo and spread its worldwide popularity. It was here that the Brazilian families that he's taught emphasized a portion of Judo known as Nawaza, or groundwork. One of the families that he taught, most notably, was a family known as the Gracies. And it was the Gracies that first founded and funded the UFC that is now widely seen televised throughout the United States. Using their groundwork emphasized Judo, they dominated the early years of the UFC, and the popularity of the sport exploded in the United States. So today we've looked at Judo, which is one of the most dynamic sports there is, its origin, its growth, and its influence it's had on Western culture. Why hit a man with your fists when you can hit a man with the entire planet?